everyone, this is Pam with Olive&Owl, and today we're doing a video with our good friend Sarah Merenda, and we are just talking about all kinds of, our friendship and design hints and tricks and things. And to start us off, how did we meet?
Well, I became your neighbor in 2020, at the end of 2020, and we realized that we both were creative. And and then when you told me that you were going to start the store, you invited me to show my work.
You did, yes. So as most of you know, we have tons of furniture, and the store came with quite a lot of wall space that I had no idea how to fill. So we've gotten this great collaboration going where Sarah has filled quite literally the wall space that I would have had no idea what to do with. And it's turned out to be this amazing kind of featured artwork almost. A lot of people come in and they think, oh wow, this is kind of like a gallery. And it's this amazing wallpaper by a local designer, and it's been a really great collaboration. So Sarah, one of the things I absolutely love about your wallpaper is some of it's abstract, some of it's very organic. It's just kind of all of the above. Like there's a toile yoga thing going on. There's so many variations. So I'm so curious to know, like, where does the inspiration come? Because most designers kind of just stick to, one thing or another, but that's what I truly love about your stuff. It's just all over the place, and it's just really unique because you do so many different things.
So, thank you. I used to do a lot of traveling. Mm-hmm. I used to go on at least a 3-week to 5-week long trip every year to different places all over the world. But also, I lived in New York City for 21 years, and that was a constant influx of inspiration all the time.
Sure.
From like a spray painted wall to some sprout of something growing out of the sidewalk. I was inspired by that, but I was also inspired by the fact that I grew up down a long driveway with a cornfield around me, and I was missing nature when I lived in New York, so I wanted to bring the nature indoors, and that was why I designed like the corn and a lot of the other more organic patterns, was because I wanted that in my house.
Great. It's so interesting because it does seem to, you just kind of like soak in your surroundings, and that's how the art comes and flows out of you. It's so cool to hear how different artists are inspired by different things and how they see things and then create. So Sarah, you have this amazing sketch that you've just done. Tell us how you would take that from, your original artwork to hanging in a hotel Las Vegas bathroom. What's part of that process?
Well, usually if I make a sketch, I will then start collecting the imagery that I want to incorporate into the design. So it's doing research, and then it's doing drawings of each individual thing. I have Snake Party on my mind.
Sure.
So, for instance, that one was I started just doing all the different drawings of all the different images in that, and then basically I collaged it all together, and then I drew from that, and then I scan the design and bring it into the computer to be able to, because I do digital printing, to be able to print it. Sometimes I have to work on the coloring in the computer. Sometimes it's almost completely finished before I get it in the computer. It just depends. But yeah, that's kind of the process that I'm doing right now.
Cool. Yeah, it's just amazing that you can take it through all of those steps to get it in that final space where it's, this inspiration that turned into a drawing, that turned into this, massive wall of art is really just amazing.
A lot of tests.
And I believe a lot of paper. Well, I know one time when we were upholstering something, we used the wrong side of the fabric, and we still just went with it because it seemed to fit the furniture. Whether we wanted to or not, it seemed to, the vibe still kind of worked. And that, I don't know if I would call that a fun mistake, but it was definitely a mistake, and we still just went with it. So,
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I mean, I always am running into different design things, and a lot of times, it's not working, but through the experimentation of moving things around, or accidentally coloring it in this weird way, and then you're like, oh,
it works.
that's really crazy. I'm gonna go with that. Like my rave colorway of my yoga toile is like, I was experimenting in my Photoshop, and then it's like black light, a black light party. Actually, I had this situation where I did this drawing. It was in my car, and Max went surfing, and he put his board in the car, and it dripped water on my just freshly drawn design, and it got these drips through it. And I actually incorporated it into the drawing because it worked.
That's so cool.
So, yeah. Sometimes
really
it works
neat.
out.
Yeah.
I was pretty pissed though.
I can imagine that would not go over well, but that
Salt water.
That would be a great example of, leaving the artistic to itself and literally organically it coming out even better.
So, but yeah, that's. I mean, you have to run with stuff as an artist and as a designer sometimes, and that sometimes takes you to the most interesting places, I think.
No, agreed.
Yeah.
If you went in with a rigid outcome, none of this would be here. It just wouldn't.
No.
Things don't always come out the way you think or want, and it just has to be part of the process.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your background and, how you've gotten to this place in your journey.
Okay, so I started hanging wallpaper when I was 19. And before that, I worked at a vintage clothing store in Baltimore. And before that, I was collecting vintage clothes, like from this auction that was down the street from my house when I was
the
Crumpton auction. So I used to ride my bike to the Crumpton auction and go through boxes and boxes of fabric and clothes. And so, anyways, I had a love for design since I was young. But hanging the paper as a 19-year-old and 20-year-old, and then I started realizing, like, somebody needs to make some cool wallpaper. Not that there wasn't anything good, but it was 1996, so it wasn't great. And then, after studying at FIT, I understood how to actually create the pattern, and it's pretty cool to be able to, after installing wallpaper for 25 years, be able to actually install my own stuff now, and be able to say, hey, I think that wall looks cool.
Right.
That's kind of a fast-forwarded way of saying my journey, I think.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's exciting to see, how what's been influenced in people's lives to get them to where they are. It's always a path, you just never know what is going to be part of your life that changes your life sometimes. So that's really cool. Well, obviously sustainability is a big piece of what we're doing at Olive&Owl. We take antique furniture, or really just any kind of tossed aside furniture that's worthy of, being up to our standards, where we'll redo it. And we'd like to think that we've saved numbers of pieces from going to the landfill and really breathed new life into them. How are you taking the angle on sustainability and doing things of that nature?
Well, it was part of the reason that I bought this latex digital printer, because everything that happens with that printer is basically recyclable, and latex also is it's supposed to be better for you. Like, you can breathe it, like you can print with it, and like I can have it in my house, and like it's not gonna give me cancer.
Got it.
So there's that piece to it. But as far as the sustainability piece, I am constantly searching for like recycled papers and stuff. So I do print on like a 31% recycled paper that is made with plastic bottles, and then other materials that are completely recyclable. And then the latex printer also, I can print to order.
Okay.
So it's not like I'm just doing like all this printing and then things are just laying around and then just not getting used. Like, I just wanted to do everything so it has a purpose. Yeah.
That's really neat that you can really size it down to some exact measurements so the waste is really minimal. That's impressive.
That was really important for me.
Yeah, that's really cool. I love the thrill of starting a new project. It's the stack of fabric that I can just completely envision on a piece of furniture in my mind is always the best part of starting for me. What would you say?
I mean, the idea that that I can make something new that can uplift a space or actually like influence someone's mood, like in their house, or just transform a space, like that's really the core of why I do it. So going back to the why will keep you going.
Yeah. Having that vision for the space, that's I could see that being critical and amazing. Sarah, this has been great. I really appreciate you taking the time to come talk to us, talk to our Olive&Owl followers, and it's just been fun having this collaboration, and we look forward to seeing what else we can do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
You can find my work at merendawallpaper.com or on Instagram at Merenda Wallpaper. I believe it's this piece right there.
Oh, Amy.
I think so. I think that's my favorite. I'm in love with it, actually. Completely in love.